I think I'm going to talk about these games quick because I think most of them are honestly over. But anyway, Champions League, second leg quarterfinals. First games, I think, are the Wednesday games from last week. So the Tuesday games are last week's Wednesday games. So the first ones are like Dortmund, Barca. This is going to be in Germany. So like maybe a 0.1% chance that Dortmund can find a way to score 5 goals against Barca. But no, they have no chance. That one's totally over. Barca will win that one. They'll go through easily, and they'll probably win again in Germany. Second one tomorrow, Aston Villa hosting PSG. That one is really tough for Aston Villa because that third goal they conceded at the very end, I think that one might have been the dagger. I actually really feel bad for them because it should have been closer. But I think Emery kind of let the team down just a little bit. I still think he managed the game well. Those last 20 minutes I think was really tough on them. But I mean, Emery is totally going to try to get at PSG's throats early on. They're going to try to score fast, and they're going to try to score multiple really fast, really quick goals. Especially at home, they're going to want to try to get the crowd behind them really fast. And it's all going to be up to that PSG midfield to try to absorb that pressure. It's going to be a really fun one to watch because that like Vitinha and Joao Neves, midfield combo, I think they've been playing great, and they're going to have to go against that John McGinn and Yuri Tielemans duo. So good matchup there. Excited to watch that one. I still think PSG has the edge, but I think Aston Villa will get a result here, either a win or a draw or something. I don't necessarily see PSG winning. I don't know. I can see any result here, but PSG will go through. Then the Wednesday games. First up, Real Madrid go hosting. Actually, they'll be at the Bernabeu, hosting Arsenal. Real Madrid, I think, are in too big of a hole to climb themselves out of, and I don't know if Ancelotti can rally his players to get a result here, to find a way to come back and win. If they do that, which I'm not saying, it's not out of the question for sure. I'm giving them like a 20% chance to come back and go to extra time against Arsenal or win the game against Arsenal. I just think the deficit is too big, and I think they rely too much on their individual talent here. But if they do end up coming back in this game, one, it's going to be an absolute Arsenal bottle, classic Arsenal bottle job. And two, it's going to be an individual masterclass performance. One of the Real Madrid players is going to have to take over this game if they want to win. Either Bellingham, Mbappe, Vinny Jr., one of those three, I think, is going to be the one that just takes over this game and demands that the team wins. That's the only way I see it winning. I don't think they're going to tactically outplay Arsenal. I don't know. I could see them maybe winning the game, but not going through. I have Arsenal going through. I think they did enough in the first leg. But I think that's going to be a fun one to watch too. I think it's going to be a lot of tension in that game, especially if Real score early on. A lot of tension in that game. A lot of pressure on Arsenal. Even though they're up 3-0, I think there is a lot of pressure on Arsenal still. Last game, and I think the closest one, Bayern going to Inter. Now this is going to be a really, it's going to be an X's and O's game, tactical. Inter, I think, are going to just sit back and absorb a bit of pressure. Especially if they got that 1-goal lead. They're going to just try to hit Bayern on the counterattack. Bayern are going to control the ball this game, for sure. Again, I think just like the last game, Olise is going to be the heart of this attack for Bayern. I see Olise scoring, and I think Bayern will find a way to get to extra time. But I think it's going to go to penalties, and I think Inter will go through on penalties against Bayern. I do think this Inter team is better than Bayern, but as of recently, I'm not seeing the quality that I know they have. So I think form-wise, I like Bayern. Obviously, they dropped points to Dortmund at the weekend, but that one's always a close game. But yeah, I like Inter in this. I like Inter to go through. And yeah, I'll put my score predictions and shit on the screen if I remember.